as I get there safe, like I really don't care. Like,
but that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you
down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. That's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand. And
like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had to all the
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement. And before we introduce the lovely panelists, see them over there? Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. We go live every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. And we pretty much talk anything and everything going on in the world and how we can all get better from it. So, we're going to introduce the panelists. We have Chris.
hi, I'm Chris. I have a YouTube channel called The Blooming Ebony, and you can also follow me on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony.
We got John.
Hello, everybody. My name is John. I have a YouTube channel, Black Wall Street Trading LLC, where I put videos up so you can learn how to trade options, stocks, talk a little bit about crypto. You can also find me on Instagram at johncornelius.8770.
Last but not least, we got Danielle.
Hi, my name is Danielle. You can find me on YouTube at My Sister's Keeper and on Instagram at Fly Nurse Mom Wife. And I'm happy to be here today. Hi, you guys.
There we go. I'm enjoying this. Everyone getting new backdrops, huh? Look at that. Step it up.
I don't know how to change them.
The highest resolution video network. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm growing it out. Guys, how you guys doing?
Sore.
Show us.
Yeah, bro. I'm
so
sore.
to anyone out there watching right now, John just got a tattoo. Before we get into topics.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that.
Oh.
I don't know how well you can see it.
Not too well just yet.
Nah, not yet.
Not yet. But
healing.
Get some A&D on that, and we're going to get into the questions to the panel.
No. I saw the comment. Sorry.
Yeah, I noticed. Has COVID created more antisocial children? Has COVID created more antisocial children? Chris.
I don't know. I think it depends on where you are. I think not having the kids go to school affected them a bit. I do think that there was just a lot of fear among the parents themselves because there were a lot of things that weren't necessarily restricted. Like they could have still like done play dates and stuff with parents they felt comfortable with. They felt comfortable. So yes and no. Places like South Carolina, they didn't really shut down, but like places
Yes
like
and
Oregon,
no. Yes and no.
it depends on the region. Like South Carolina, I feel like the kids are probably pretty much fine. Like they didn't really stop their lives. But places like Oregon, yeah, I think the kids were greatly affected by this because everything shut down. And you weren't allowed to go anywhere. Like the parks were closed, schools were closed. Um, you weren't even allowed to have like more than so many people in your house at one time for the holidays at some point. So, yeah.
Okay. Danielle?
I don't know.
Okay, so with Chris, yes and no, and then you, I don't know. Okay, that's
I don't
good.
know. I don't be in tune with other people's homes. My home didn't change. My kids are like me. We be in our own little bubble. My 3 sons play with each other. My oldest son, he stay in his room without COVID on this game. So his life didn't change. He only hang out with his family. I mean, everything that he was used to doing, he continued to do. So not really sure.
No, that didn't change, in your opinion?
No, I'm not in my home. And I don't be asking other people about their kids. Like I got so much going on. I don't be worried about other people's kids.
John, what are we talking?
I think it was more instances of people affected by like anxiety disorder and depression among the kids. Antisocial, probably not so much. And the reason why is because children had more time they socialize differently. They don't socialize in public. They socialize online. And this created the perfect environment for them to still have that same outlet and more of it. But it also, for children who were had that underlying psychological inflex, it made them more susceptible to it manifesting more because they had outlets to escape. You know, sometimes you have to measure escape behavior when a child is going through depression because they're taking too many frequent trips from reality into virtual reality. And it's not necessarily healthy. That's my take on it.
Okay. Jesse, what are we talking? First, nice to see you.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised you let me back after last time, but
Hey, listen, you were good. You were good.
I guess you could take a joke and realize it was all part of the act. But yeah, this is a great question, one I've been struggling with for a while because this is something that's close to my heart. You know, I've struggled with anxiety, depression my whole life, and I deal with a lot of kids that this is affected. You know, of course, when they're primarily autism, very much need rigid routine schedule. So I agree a lot with what the other guy said. I forgot. I don't know. You guys don't use your real names, right? It's like
No, that's John.
Mr. Black or something. I don't know.
Mr. Black Wall Street, John.
Nah, John. Yeah.
John. So yeah. I think COVID just highlighted the antisocial. I feel like kids are becoming more antisocial way before COVID. I feel like I don't think social media is a good thing. If anybody takes a look at my artwork, it's specifically dealing with that. That it's getting us further away from nature, which is what God intended, which is to be with nature, to be in reality, to be here. I don't mind these meetups as much because I don't mind this because you're actually speaking to people. You're getting a direct
Conversation.
response.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually there's actually a value in it. But when it's like, hey, look at me, I went, I'm having freaking pasta and meatballs for dinner. It's like, who cares what you had for dinner? And I just don't think human beings were meant to post everything in the world, and I think it's too much information. Too much information's coming at once, and that's affecting a lot of people mentally.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I think she had her hand up there.
I care what people have for dinner because then I can probably figure out what I want for dinner instead of having to think on my own.
that right there, you just said the problem. People are not
instead of thinking on my own.
People are not thinking for themselves, thinking on their own. That scares me. People are, well, what does the machine tell me to do? Bah, bah, bah. And it's scary. It's scary.
I mean, these are all behaviors that can be like learned and reinforced and become like everyday life. See, we are redefining social. Well, excuse me.
Which is really
we are saying socializing from what we know is what we call socializing, but social is just an engaged form of engaging dialogue, and it does not require in person. So if I'm dialoguing with you, I'm socializing with you, and I don't have to be in the same room with you or in front of you to do that. Well, children are redefining how they socialize, and it's a problem. It is a problem. It's not good.
You don't think missing the physical aspect of it is a little bit of a problem, though?
Missing the physical aspect of it?
Yeah. So, like, if children now are socializing a lot more at home through their games, through their computers, YouTube.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, because
it's bad. They don't know.
It's better than nothing, but definitely bad. Because now they're not. There's socializing is a verbal aspect of it, but there's also a physical aspect of socializing.
It is.
Not standing too close to someone, not breathing over them. That's like the awkward stuff.
Cues. Like learning how to read social emotional cues.
Correct.
I mean, here's the thing. And maybe I can get approved for the research, but once I'm finished with the dissertation, I want to take about 40 or 50 children who are known to have spend a lot of time online and all this other stuff, and isolate them to where they cannot get online. Like it has to be an in-house research project, and just see what happens. I want to see what kind of withdrawal symptoms they would go through. They cannot have any access, like no access to cell phones, none of that. Phone calls will be made to parents daily so they know that the kids are all right. Everybody's living and breathing, highly chaperoned, all these other things. I would like to and pretty much see, like the first day, see if they can engage in the conversation between each other. And then see if boys can engage with conversation with other boys that are slightly older or slightly younger. I would be real interested as to what kind of measurements I would get out of that. And what kind of behavior I would be able to observe. Who would start crying? Who would lose it? Who would start going to a panic attack? And I would blame all of that on social media.
Audience, this is Pellegrino, not a bottle of wine, by the way. Just so you know, sparkling water.
No judgment here. If it was
wine. Shout out to you, Knowledge and Relationships. Salute to the panel. Salute to you, my man. My son was dealing with immature fourth grade classmates. It was hurting his esteem. A year and a half of online school allowed his classmates to grow up some. He likes school better now.
Well, he was able to move away from that negative stimulus. He was not directly around him. He was in the comfort of his own home. Also, so you have to take that into consideration. Plus, it's not easy to bully somebody when you got channels to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not easy for this guy, whatever. I don't know what the situation was, but it's not. It's just more difficult. Like the joke loses its punchline when you have to type it. It's just not the same. Okay, it's just not the
Jokes are
same.
impossible. Written
Because the
jokes
tone is everything. Like tone, how you delivery. Like if you could get on camera and do it, it would be great. Thank you, Japrice. If you get on camera and do it, that's different. But you have to type it. Oh, it just loses all its oomph.
You're absolutely right, man. I've
Yeah,
gotten in
whoever
so
reads
much
it is how
trouble.
you translate it.
Yeah.
Because it goes both ways. Funny, when you mad, all of it loses, a lot of a lot of meaning is lost in text.
You're totally right. You're totally right. So is this the open discussion or is this the
Go ahead, yeah, it's open. It's did everyone go yet?
I just don't want to get in trouble this time.
You're good. You're good. Just don't put on a mask and you should be okay. All right.
I got a mask, but it says free speech on it.
Yeah. Well, just keep the free face to talk. Okay. No mask.
For the end, I'll put it on. And that's not political, by the way. I'm nonpartisan, just to make that clear.
Gotcha. When I was actually thinking about this question, because I actually tried to think about the answer, I think a lot more children realize how much they want to be socializing with their friends. Like after sitting in the house and being stuck behind the computer a bit more.
Oh yeah.
And that's why like a lot of parents are probably going crazy because now they had their kids kind of jumping off the walls because they needed to get out and actually start moving a little bit more. I don't know. I don't have kids, but that's what I've heard that there was a lot of parents just kind of losing it with their kids.
Yeah, and it was all the parents. It wasn't the kids. The kids wasn't in no hurry to go back to school. The kids was like, "This is the dream. I can do my homework. I've got a date, and it's not tomorrow." We playing Fortnite all night. We're not going to bed till tomorrow. Let's go. Yeah.
I think this. Okay, who didn't change the battery in the smoke detector? The season changed the battery needed to be changed.
So that's me, right?
Yes.
And somebody had said something to me when I was on one of my own videos, and I had to watch the video to even hear it. I couldn't hear it. But now that I've heard, I can't unhear it. And my husband still hasn't changed the freaking batteries. Like, it's so annoying. I'm so angry for whoever pointed that out to me because I was fine in my bliss of not hearing that damn beat.
Yeah, you can't unhear that. Once you hear it, it's there. It's stuck.
Yes.
Yeah. Socializing.
I think this is more fun. So I think there's something interesting about the way certain platforms work. And I think, some people are more extroverted, introverted. I think some people work, I have a lot of friends who will text me. I say, can you not text me? Can you call me? I mean, I'm kind of still old school. I like that textual. I like that. I'm old school,
So you prefer text versus being called?
No. You better call me. Don't text me. You could say, hey, you still coming, something like that. But if it's more than 2 words, you better be calling me.
Well, 2 words, huh? I mean, I'm in the same boat. I get it. I prefer calls over texting. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to move in that way, but a lot of the world is moving in that way, though.
She said, please kick him out. I remember that. To Madre, hopefully you're not mad at me this time.
That's Clement's mother. That's actually Clement's mother.
And I'm so happy she's here. I missed her.
Don't be mad at me, Mama Clements, please.
Yeah. But to anyone out there, to anyone in the chat room, I did drop the link to the show in the chat box. So feel free to come up, answer or ask any question to the panel, or answer the question if you like, or even if you want to join the panel. The link is in the chat box. Go for it. Okay. Last closing comments on this one. Has COVID created antisocial children? Antisocial. You know what? I'll go with. This was also the main point I was trying to allude at. A lot of kids were antisocial before the COVID due
Yeah.
to cell phones, computers, online games, etc. That keeps them so. That's my mom. That's it makes sense why I thought that.
And that's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like it just it may have. I think it revealed that there some kids may have some anxiety disorder, some depression, but as far as like COVID being the reason, no.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. That's right.
Kids are not you can drive around wherever where there's a lot of kids. Unless you can get into the house, you'll never see them. Like it just won't happen. Children don't care to go outside. They don't care to do any of those things anymore. They either on the cell phone or something like that. And why am I lagging behind? Why am I lagging so bad?
Yeah, I can't see. I'm a little behind too. I'm trying to look at this.
Oh, are you guys behind? Is everyone still behind? No.
Did it have something to do with my internet?
No, I don't think so. All right.
Still lagging.
Still lagging?
Yeah, see.
I mean, you're a little like a half a second behind.
Just a half a second.
Yeah. Well, M3, welcome to the panel. How you doing?
Pretty good, CKQ, and welcome everyone. Hello everyone. How's everyone doing?
What's happening? What's happening? M3.
John. What's
BMW.
Up, Danielle. Chris. Sorry, I don't know your name, but welcome.
That's all right.
Jesse.
Yeah. Jesse. Nice to meet you, Jesse.
How you doing?
Well, yeah, I'm doing okay. I just wanted to talk about the the COVID and antisocial children before you guys go to the next topic. I'm doing okay. Oh, I hear an echo.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
All right, go for it.
Okay. So what I wrote down, in my opinion, I think that social media was the cause to create more antisocial children because it has like so many access to be distracted. However, COVID kind of gave people another reason to be divided because you have one side that's like, okay, we want you to put your mask on. We want you to get vaccinated. Hopefully I could say that on a live stream.
You know what? Before you say that, let's move on to the next question because you're going to be answering it.
Oh, okay.
Is COVID creating a rift between people? Is COVID creating a rift between people? Floor is yours, M3. Go for it.
Well, thank you. Well, absolutely. It's causing many rifts, not just with children, but just with like adults as well, too. I mean, you have the president that is promoting like mandate, and it's also it's also causing people to lose their jobs because, especially like here in California, they're trying to push this mandate, for most people. And if you're not going to take the vaccine, then it's like you're out of here. So no one doesn't really have any rights. They can't really. Some could probably get away with using like religious rights, but that's not going to last for like too long. And so it's going to have a lot of people scared, and it's going to try to force them to take the shot that they don't even want to take. In addition to that, people already had bad experiences. Well, I should say allegedly some, from what I heard, with their friends or family members taking the shot and then having like really bad, severe allergic reactions. Some people died from that. But yet you're still trying to force people to take something that they don't even want to take or they don't feel safe taking of. So, I mean, I could understand if maybe if it was probably tested, like, and I don't know, within like, like like 2 years or something like that, or maybe 3, a little bit longer, then I could kind of see.
You need 5 to 10 years.
You said 5 to 10 years?
Yep. You need 5 to 10 years when you're dealing with any kind of pharmaceutical. 5 to 10 years.
Let me ask you this though, because now you're saying if you have to test it for like what, let's just say 2 years, but now, because when it first came out, did it wipe out a good slew of people? It
It
did.
did.
Right?
Like, yeah, a lot of people had like a lot of bad reactions to it.
But no. I'm saying were there fatalities?
Yeah.
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 It was a lot of them. But
So what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, if there are a lot of fatalities, are you going to still keep saying, okay, let's wait 2 years to let the fatalities keep piling up, or we're going to say, okay, we're just going to start testing this on people and see what sticks, what actually holds.
Oh, you're saying fatalities from COVID itself?
Correct.
Oh, I thought you were
That's
talking about
meant in the
fatalities
back.
from the shot.
No, I'm talking from COVID.
I was talking about from the shot.
When COVID first came out, and they were saying there was a lot of deaths.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was asking. Were there a lot of deaths? It's a question. Okay. So now what they're saying is we're going to start testing because there's a lot of deaths, and we're going to start experimenting with people essentially to try to see what sticks, what actually works, what people are actually going to hold on to. And I had a bigger point behind that, but I'll let you guys get back to. I lost it. I fell off the train. I'm sorry, guys. All right.
Somebody reached down there and picked Clement back up off the tracks.
I mean, it's really hard to answer because the thing is, like, you know, you have the news that's saying, like, you know, statistics was being, you know, altered. Okay, well, you know, that's a good term, like manipulated. So you don't really know what to believe. You know, on one end, you have people that says, well, I took the vaccine. You know, I took the shot. I'll just say shot. And nothing happened. You know, all myths of what happened was debunked, according to what one news source says. But then the other side of the news source will be like, well, you know, Jimmy or, you know, Tommy took the shot and this what happened to them. And now they're hospitalized and all that. So I can't really say too much. Like, it depends on the person's immune system, their body, what they're able to handle. But, you know, I feel like, well, I mean, with John, like, you know, like you said, like it takes 5 to 10 years. And that's like, you know, through constant trial and error. But I understand with this pandemic that's going on, you know, people are trying to desperately find some type of solutions to end this. But at the same time, if it's not working for some, or is it causing like a more harm than something that's good? I mean, I don't know. I won't really have an answer to that part, basically.
Okay. Danielle, is COVID creating a rift between people?
Yes.
I think your smoke detector agrees with you too.
Listen,
It's good with me.
Please fix it. I'm like, the viewers are complaining. They don't want to hear this.
We'll eventually all drown it out too. It's okay.
I hope so. But yes, I know that it is actually, because you got people complaining about if you're going to get vaccinated, if you're not going to get vaccinated, if the vaccine is worth taking, if it's not worth taking, if it's effective, if it's not. People are like going crazy. Like, well, if you don't want to get the vaccine, then you shouldn't be going to the hospital to get care. Like, how dare you? Then they tell them, well, if you don't want to get vaccinated, then you deserve to be fired. Like, okay, well, then if that nurse deserves to be fired, then you deserve to die because them hospitals are not staffed. Like what the hell is wrong with people to tell people what they deserve because they have a choice? When I thought that that's what this continent was about. Like, America was supposed to be about freedoms and choices, and slowly but surely everything is getting taken away. We can't say certain things, we can't do certain things, we can't go certain places. It's not seeming to be so free.
Yeah, I know a lot of other countries are a lot better.
Yeah, so
yeah.
All very annoying.
Have anybody ever seen like a video in Florida where they had a group?
Hold on to that thought real quick, M3. I just wanted everyone to get their answer in real quick, right?
Okay, my bad.
Chris.
Yes, 110%. Yes, and I would think when I realized it was when I went to Seattle and we couldn't do anything because we didn't have proof of the shot. Like we just didn't have proof. And so like, literally the entire city is basically shut down to people who are not. If you don't have it, if they offer outdoor seating, then you can sit outside. But imagine sitting outside when it's 40 degrees in Seattle and raining, you know? And I was like, this kind of feels like you might as well have a sign that says like colored, colored sit out here, and then non-colored sit inside. Like that's what it felt like. Yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. So I was like, this is super weird. And I was like, I don't want to have to carry around something just so I can sit somewhere warm. Like something about that just seems really off to me, but you're not allowed to say that here. Like I was reading some articles from the UK that was talking about why they introduced the booster shots. And it was because of the effectiveness of the vaccine was going down because of the virus evolved, which that happens with the flu shot every year. You know, they have a new flu shot because the virus evolves. But you're not allowed to say that. If you say that anything's wrong with the shot, you're destroyed. Like they'll absolutely destroy you. That's here in Oregon at least. So you can't, nothing bad about the shot can be said, or you're seen as being anti-vax. Even if you are like I am vaccinated and I still look up this research and they call me anti-vax. It's ridiculous.
I got a problem.
That was a bit of a rant. Sorry. But basically everything Danielle said, and there's like your explanation, it can be pretty bad here.
John, you want to go?
Say what?
You're up.
Man, you know how, okay, let me just calm down. I done got a whole TikTok account banned, so let me just be quiet and just say, let me just say this. Yes, it's creating a rift. Yes, it is. The only people who are together on this are people who really understand science. And when you talk to medical doctors and we talk about the science, and I do, and they have not received anything and will not receive anything, that it raises a red flag to me if I didn't know anything about science. So yeah, so everyone who you're forced to do it because you have to choose between feeding your family and just, dying on your sword, right? But for people who are completely oblivious to science, no fault of their own, they don't know what to do, so they do it out of panic. And then when you've got media scaring you to death, I'm just going to throw this out there. You have you only have like a 0.13% chance of dying from COVID. What? That's it. I'm just saying. You take the difference of that. You don't want me to do that.
Yeah, I want to.
No, you don't. Because I'm gonna want you to let me share my screen, and I will give you a complete class. That's not gonna. I mean, don't do that.
So
I don't want you to get your thing. Yeah,
well, that'll be a different day. Listen, it's.
I mean, the reason I say that because you got people that it has to be broken down as to why. Like you just can't throw numbers out there and then expect the person to just take your word for it, even though those are the numbers roughly thereabout. But there's a reason for why, and then you have to understand what immunoglobulin G is, what immunoglobulin A is, and what immunoglobulin M is, and what it does, and why. That gives you your why right there, part of it. Then if you're talking about the other one, you need to understand translation, and transcription and all these other things. You need to see examples. That's why I said it. So, but yeah, it's definitely creating a rift, and it depends on where you are in the world. Like if you're in the South, we ride for hours. It's no rift here because we collectively just don't believe in it. Like, period. Our culture in the South does not believe in running to a doctor. We just don't. We use natural grandmama remedies and things that have worked for years. and we have old people who live to be 80 and 90 years old. My uncle just died. He was 91. And you know what? You know what happened? And this man had COVID, and it did not kill him, like at all. Didn't have nothing to do with it. He was over COVID for months. It didn't even hospitalize him. He went to the hospital, wasn't feeling that good, went up there because he's so old. He tested positive COVID, and he refused everything. And he went back home, and this was like 6 or 8 months earlier. And it lasted with him for 2 or 3 days, and he was fine after that. Never had any breathing problems or anything.
It's almost like our body was meant to fight these things off.
That's what IgM is. IgA, all of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we have T cells that do their job.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not for everybody, of course, but
you got a whiteboard, I'll draw it up for you.
It's like the flu shot. I never got the flu vaccine before getting a second job that required me coming in contact with folks who may die if I get sick. So I vaxxed to protect them for me.
But see, that's the thing. The vaccine does not protect nobody from nothing, because if you get the vaccine, you can still spread it and you can still get it. So I'm not putting nothing foreign in my body. And I don't have nothing against people who are vaccinated. But that's the narrative that people in the media pushed. You understand? But the most hospitalizations were people who were vaxxed. The latest deaths were people who were vaxxed, and they're blaming COVID on those deaths. But these deaths were more related to cardiac problems, blood clot formation, all of the symptoms that the research said were side effects. It's why pregnant women wasn't supposed to take it, and all these other things. That's where, that's what I'm talking about. When you go to put poison in your body, I bet you couldn't be nice and go up to the president and say, here, we bought you lunch. That thing would get checked out by everybody. But you want me to just put this because you said it's okay. Well, I'm telling you this is okay. I didn't do nothing to it. I went straight in here, bought it, put it in the bag. I even watched them make it. They didn't do nothing to it. Here you go. It's safe. That's the same concept. You just want me to put this in even though you got syphilis, autism, all of these things are related to vaccinations. Congenital syphilis from the Tuskegee, that years later, men are testing positive. Some boys were tested positive for syphilis that have never been sexually active. They were born with it. Then they bring the parents in, and one of the parents, typically the father, has it. Born with it from a vaccination. You understand? So yeah, it's creating a risk. So what? I don't care nothing about smoking no cigarettes. Cigarettes is linked to what? I don't care nothing about smoking no cigarettes, man. That's all about genetics. The same amount of people die from lung cancer from nothing is the same amount that die from cigarettes. So that means there's no direct correlation between developing lung cancer and smoking a cigarette.
But it's cancer in general, because you can get cancer if you live a healthy life, you can still get cancer.
Exactly.
Cancer is just a poor
cell.
No,
I don't care about that. I can run up and down them steps without breathing hard. How about that? I can swim a whole mile, and I can actually swim it with nonstop. So, and I can fight for 2 minutes straight. So I'm good.
Man, Nick. See, Nick, what you doing? What you doing to John right now? Come on.
I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
Giving up I know what's in these cigarettes. I don't know what's in that shot.
That's true.
I'm willing to take this risk. This has got years and years of research behind it, that it don't cause an extra toe. And you know what it does cause. You know your risk. That vaccine is a blind study. I'm good.
Well, I hope you don't eat fast food or anything. You're not growing from. But I hope you don't eat fast food or anything you're not growing from your own yard. Nicotine and or alcohol, respectfully, and I'm not an advocate for it, but we have no clue what we consume. What's in what we consume.
And
Oh
that's
yeah,
true.
that's true. That's
That's
true.
true. That is very true. But we do know this. We do not know. We
Wait,
do not know
hold
what
on,
is
hold
in
on,
that
hold on,
vaccine.
John. Jesse, I don't think we actually got to you for the question.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
I think they sterilize her. Is COVID creating a rift between people? Oh yeah, I mean it's by design. This is just the new HIV. This is the new Bloods versus Crips. This is the new Jews versus the blacks. You know, they keep the Jews in the ghetto. Everybody who's come through this country has been in the ghetto. Okay. The idea that black people are the only people that have been enslaved has been instilled in this country and instilled in people. It's a victimhood. It's a victim mentality. Everybody who's come through this country has been in Irish ghettos, Italian ghettos, and they keep them separated because of the Italians and the blacks and the Jews. If everybody talked and said, they're fucking with you too, they're doing this shit to you too.
Do you think they kept them separated purposely, or do you think that people just migrated where they were comfortable with
No, they
the
absolutely
language and who they
no,
were?
they absolutely kept them separately by design. And all of the anger and all of the fighting and all of this stuff is completely by design. Religion by its core is not bad, but they're trying to tell you that religions are creating wars. That's a bunch of bullshit. They plant the seed of negativity. They plant these little things, and next thing you know, you have why are people fighting? Why is this happening? You see Antifa, but there's just a bunch of bricks just happen to be there for them. Somebody's funding these people. Government's evil. Government is evil. They are funding these people. Black Lives Matter. You think that's grassroots promotion? You think a movement that wouldn't support hatred and divide would get that big? Somebody talking about unity, somebody talking about coming together and loving each other. It's not going to happen. The government funds hatred. They love it. They live off of it. And they make
Keeps
money,
people divided.
profit.
I mean,
they're evil. They're the devil. That's what the Bible warned us, man. They said, one world government's coming, and we better stay vigilant. That's all I got to say.
I just like all these coincidences, and nobody is putting this together. Like nobody puts this together. I mean, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I'm sorry, but once things start looking like it might be true, it no longer becomes a theory. It starts. The fact is this: there were no weapons of mass destruction. There was none. Why was that lie told? Was it because the president at that time owned land that would benefit if gas prices went up?
Guys, I hate to interrupt, John. I got to go briefly, but how long do you guys go till? 10:30?
A long time.
All right, I'm gonna come back if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Listen, you're always welcome back.
Yep, and no New World Order, man. It's true. Watch out. Watch your backs. Yo, I got a friend who's a Mason, and I've been talking to him. I'm gonna have an interview with him real soon. I've been playing nicey nice, but I know what that's really about. So I'm gonna
have him come on the show. We're always interested to hear the different ideas.
Oh yeah, no, man. I'm saving him for my show, brother.
Oh, okay. Listen,
all right,
sharing is caring, I thought, but okay. All
right, I'll share too. You got to check out my videos too, man. All right, I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, we'll be here.
What was it? What was the question to come to me?
What's that?
It was a question.
There was a question
from the panel. I mean, from the from your.
Oh no, you're talking about the one in the private chat. That was one of my questions that I had.
Did you ask it out? You can ask it out.
Well, I mean, you guys was talking. I didn't want to interrupt, but my question was for the one. Okay, so hypothetically, right, for the ones who are not vaccinated, how do you respond to people who got COVID before they got the shot and say, well, I almost died, but I would have been better had I took the shot, versus the ones who took the shot and still got COVID and say the same thing. Well, I almost died, but I would have been worse had I not took the shot.
What? How do you
I know,
respond to people who got the shot and who didn't got the shot?
People who got the shot and still got sick, but they'll still say like, "Oh, you should have gotten the shot."
And then the ones like who got, so the ones who got the shot, right? So basically, the ones who got the shot still got the same results, still sick, felt like they almost died, but then their ending message was, well, I'm glad that, I took the shot because I would have been worse, even though I almost died and hospitalized, but it would have been far worse had I not took the shot.
To each of them, I would tell them that you don't know. Had you had the shot, perhaps it would have been less. For the other person, had you not had the shot, perhaps you would have died. But we don't know because y'all in the boat that y'all in. Like,
yeah,
I agree with that
because there's
like,
no efficaciousness.
You can't actually know. You can't actually know. Like, oh, well, I didn't get the shot and I'm fine. Oh, I did get the shot and I'm fine. You can't actually know that.
What I do tell people though is that shot don't protect you or the next person because you can still get it and share it. Actually, I feel like the shot is a detriment because people who have the vaccination have this false sense of security. And so they're less wearing their masks. They're less washing their hands. They're less social. They're doing all the things backwards, which is helping to also keep spreading this virus. I mean, just like the flu not going nowhere, COVID not going nowhere. And so just, get some ginger shots, some turmeric shots, do some working out, get some sea moss in you, just be healthy.
I feel like they were told that they were heroes, like they were saving people's lives by getting the shot. Like here you're put into a lottery, you could win up to like $100,000 for getting it. And people actually thought that they were saving someone's life by getting it. And if you don't get it, they see it as like you're trying to kill people, like you're intentionally trying to kill people by not getting it. And it's just ridiculous. Like the things that are in people's minds about this shot, trying to make them feel guilty. And it's not at all true, like you're not protecting other people by getting it yourself. You can still get it and not having symptoms and then pass it on to somebody else. And they're more susceptible to it, whether or not they have the vaccine or the shot, and they could die. It has nothing to do with you.
But leave it to the media to put the blame on the ones who are not vaccinated. And then the narrative that they create is that, well, you see, this person's hospitalized because that person did not take his vaccination shots, and then they go through their statistics again. So that increases more fear and division.
And the statistics is because they play this. Here's why they use these statistics, because they play the statistics. If less than 2% of the population have a PhD and a percent of the population have masters, the chances of an undergraduate understanding that level of statistics, confidence intervals, Pearson's R correlations, and COVAs, and all of these things, they can just blurt stuff out there. Like someone who studied and who has been through research methods and who have to deal with this, you understand efficaciousness. You understand what efficacy means. So for you to tell me that it has efficacy, right? Then how do you establish efficacy? We know that penicillin has efficacy because we can measure it. We can introduce bacteria onto a plate, introduce penicillin, and measure the amount of time that it takes for that bacteria to go away, right? So we can say that is efficacious. It has efficacy. If we do this, this will stop. Well, why we can't see that? Why didn't we see this in people who were getting vaccinated? How can you still pass it? How can you still receive it? You telling me you're measuring efficaciousness by reducing symptoms, by lessening the symptoms? What? How do you measure that? And then there's another question. What control group did you use, and how did you determine it? Did you pre-test your sample size and find out who creates the natural antigen already? Did you do that? Did you develop a cohort study? That's where you take different groups, right? And you determine, as you normally use to determine a causative factor, right? So how can you do, if you didn't do these things, how can you tell me you know that this reduces symptoms? I've never been vaccinated. I had COVID, lasted 3 whole days. Never had a problem breathing. I was aching all over, very weak, felt like crap, burning up fever. I did not think about ever going to a doctor. And I'm pretty healthy, but still, I'm 47 and I smoke. I should have had a problem. But I didn't. You know why? Because I have a rock solid immune system. So if you use me as an example, if I would have gotten the vaccine, you would have been lying saying, look, he got the vaccine. He did not have to even go to the hospital. I wouldn't have had to go to the hospital, obviously, with or without it. So that's pseudoscience, and you are publishing these confounds. So I'll digress after this. So your research is valid, is reliable because it's research, but it's invalid because you did not set it up properly. And I digress.
CJ, what's going on, my man?
What's good, man? Great topic. I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah, I definitely want to pose a question to both you and Danielle. But go ahead, say whatever you'd like to say.
Well, so to answer your question, is COVID creating a rip between people? Well, when y'all put it in the light that you all have put it in, I guess, yeah. But I just thought of it as something that more people can complain about. It's just to add to the list of things for people to complain about. But there's a case for both sides. I understand why people are for it, and I understand why people are against it. I mean, I feel like people have a right to feel the way they feel about a brand new vaccine. But at the same time, people been smoking for the last 50 years. They've been drinking alcohol for the last 50 years. They've been eating McDonald's and Taco Bell for the last 50 years. I mean, you have no clue what they putting in that. You really don't know what they putting in anything unless you were there. So I see both sides of the coin. I'm not saying that people are wrong for feeling either way, but I'm going to be real with you. The only reason I got it was so I could travel. And I'm not an advocate for it. I have it, but I'm not an advocate for it. If you feel like it's something that you should do, then by all means do it. But if you don't want to do it and you have the ability to make money on your own where you don't have to adhere to most companies that are requiring the vaccine in order to make a living, then good luck to you. That's great. That is phenomenal. So, and I was thinking about what John was just saying. Like, John, you are an anomaly. If you are an overweight man that smokes and that can still have the immune system that you do, that is not common. So you can have all the research in the world, but are people still going to listen to it? Does it really matter at the end of the day? Yes, it matters to me and you because we want to know what's going on. But to the general masses, doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, we don't have a cure for the common cold. So unless you have an infrastructure of your own, you're either going to get with it or not. Point blank, period.
Since you guys are both in the nursing field, Danielle and CJ, you see a lot of people coming in and out of there. What since COVID and now, I mean pre-COVID versus COVID times, was there like a big spike of people coming in and out of there? Like, has it died down? What's some of the differences or changes you guys have noticed within the hospitals?
So I mainly work in nursing homes.
Okay.
Not much of a hospital. In nursing homes, when COVID first came out, it was just a lot of death.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I think the people who are left are people who are strong enough to make it through the COVID.
Did they all get shots?
Yes. Most of the nursing homes I work at, they have 100% acceptance rate of the COVID shots, but they still dying. I The death rate is not as high. I'm not saying it is because of the shot or not. I think that, but the people who are dying from COVID they're still dying, and they're vaccinated. We just lost a lady the other day who was fully vaccinated, died because of COVID. So that is
overweight? Like
no, she was not. She was not overweight. This woman was fit as a fiddle, but she was old, like most people in nursing homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the issue is whether or not people are for it. I think the issue is when people feel forced to get it.
Yeah.
Like even like the examples you gave, CJ, were logical. I think they were reasonable. Like people still smoke, people still drink. The thing is that you can choose not to. Absolutely. If you have an issue, you can stop when you choose to. But the issue with the shot is that you can't travel. You can't go to the park with your family. You can't get on a Ferris wheel in Seattle. You can't. And it's like, yeah, just don't do it. But at the same time, this is a place that you live. And you can't experience anything around you because you don't have a shot. And you can't even show them that, I can't get it because I'm allergic to it or whatever. They don't take that. You have to have actual proof. People are, losing their jobs because of it. Like there's so much going on. I think that is where people are getting upset. And on top of that, it's not just feeling forced to get it, it's the limited information. It's not being able to talk about certain things. It's not being able to talk about, lowering efficiency rates. Is it helpful to get it? Is it not helpful to get it? Maybe it was more so helpful in March, but since the Delta variant came out, it's not as helpful now. So now that's why they're introducing booster shots. And like talking about these things, you're not allowed to do that in so many areas. And that, I think, is what's deterring people from wanting it because they want all the information available. And they feel like if you keep hiding information, there's something that you're trying to hide or you're just trying to control us. And that's what people don't like.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I definitely agree. When you forcing somebody to do it, when people are feeling forced, that's one thing. But I think also because it's so new, because there's certain things you can't do without certain things. Like you can't leave the country without a passport. You need certain documentations to leave the country. You can't drive without a license. People do it, but you can't. There's certain privileges you don't have access to if you don't have certain things. So I think, we couldn't, well, I don't know about you, Danny, but I couldn't get into school without the flu shot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That's what's crazy to me. Because you're talking about, okay, not being able to drive without a license. That's fine because there's steps and procedures you can take to get that license. There's still steps to that. That doesn't really include putting some unknown foreign product, injecting an unknown foreign product into your life now. You get what I'm saying?
But that's because it's not new. The flu shot at some point was new. At one point, the pneumonia shot at some point was new. So that's the thing. It's a new thing to us that we've seen in the modern era. You dig what I'm saying? The flu shot has been around for how long has it been around for? It's been around for a long time. So that's all I'm saying. It's a new thing.
But here's the problem with that new thing, right? Look at how it was delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have do you know how much money they spent on marketing? Do you know that people were they didn't do that for the flu vaccine? I was around for that. I remember when the thing was when they was talking about it was going to be a thing that you had to get used to get into school. They didn't do all that. They didn't close and the flu was worse than this. It was way worse than this.
It took out more people, huh?
Yeah, it killed more people. Bro, the smallpox was worse than this. They didn't do a marketing campaign. They didn't do none of that. Nothing like that.
But to be fair, they didn't have the technology that they had either. There was no social media. There were no smartphones. There wasn't anything like that. To be fair,
but to another point, the same tactics. You don't remember this, but there used to be a show called Dark Shadows. Dark Shadows created so much fear, and it was a radio, just over a radio. So transmission of information changed, but it still had the ability to reach the masses.
That's true.
It's just the method how it's reached has changed. Because back then, everybody, even poor people, had a radio. Slaves knew how to make radios. So everybody could get a radio. Then there was TVs. Everybody got the public channels. And they will put all this information out like that, right? But to go back to answer the question that Clement asked you guys about the hospital, right? I don't know about the hospital, but I know about our statistics here. Because Alabama is one of the states that's actually suing to prolong this mandate. Here in Alabama, no business is allowed to require a vaccination anything. No business is allowed to require you to show proof of vaccination for employment. Nor can you lose your job for those reasons. Medical and health, that's different. They leaving that up to the hospital, but the hospitals here have left it either test, they still leaving it with a choice. But they would like for you to get a test every 1 or 2 weeks, and that was fair for them. Only 47, an average of 48% of the entire state is vaccinated, right? Something like that. The average infection rate was, now, do you understand? We have no mask mandates. We have concerts here. We don't test outside and don't let you in, no cards. The infection rate is 0.80 per 100,000. Explain to me that. What? In other words, this virus, you got to understand, a virus is a non-living organism. It's not even an organism. It's non-living. It's a virion. It's not have life. It has to hijack a cell to do anything. This was just going to dissipate, period. It was going to dissipate over time anyway. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. Now, if it was from the blood, like HIV, and you could transmit it sexually, that's different. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But this thing had a vector that led back to bat.
So what do you think they should have done then? Do you think they shouldn't have developed anything and just let it pass?
I think they should have done the proper research and been very transparent instead of just one day emerging. Hey, you talk about it, we're closing your accounts down. Anybody says anything, block them. Redirect them to here. Gag order on deck. Millions of dollars, advertisement. Do you know how scared you made me? Like, I was like, man, I can't wait till we get a vaccination for this thing. Then when you get it out, I'm like, wait. How you get it that fast?
Well, do you really think it was millions of dollars of advertisement when you have the whole world with access to your cell phones?
It was actually billions. It was actually in the billions. The advertisement over major networks was in the billions. Like, they had to pay Facebook to like, Facebook did not have to do what they did. And that required programmers. Like, anytime they had to go back in Facebook and rewrite code, because if you said COVID or COVID was in your post, it had to tell the code to tag it, flag it, flip it, and redirect. So that costs money to do that. Facebook is huge. Facebook has a lot of accounts. So however they did it, they had to do it.
But that's software. That's not promotion. That's rewiring software.
It's still a form of propaganda.
That costs money. Facebook not going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
But what I'm saying is,
make their users
I understand the difference between propaganda and promotion. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's promoting something, you have everybody with a cell phone. So just like the example that you made, that whatever show, the dark side radio you said that was happening years ago.
Dark shadows, yeah.
If I have a large following and I'm giving misinformation, that can influence people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how changing the narrative works. But that's not. But what you said with the Facebook thing, respectfully, that's not promotion. That's updating software. Promotion is a corporation giving somebody money to promote a product or promote whatever.
I understand. I understand.
I think that.
But it did not look good.
Oh, sorry, John.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I mean, with the redirection of, like, why, if it's so safe, why are you like, this is a free country, bro? You feel me? Like, why
So
are you letting
what's
all
Chris gonna
this
say?
information out, but you won't let this other information out?
That was where, yeah. So what was happening was, it was like there were two paths. There was like in favor of, COVID, the vaccine, and then not in favor of. The information here was information that they wanted to go through, and the information here was what they were calling misinformation. They were kind of blocking this. So there was like an overproduction of this and not enough of this. And so you didn't have, oh, sorry, I'm getting an echo. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, talk now.
I lost my train of thought. I should have ignored the echo.
There's a little bit of echo. Is that my fault?
Basically, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it happened when you came in, but you're good now, I believe.
How can I? Should I come back?
No, you're good. You're good. You're good now. You're good now.
Because I hear an echo on my end.
I hear it too.
Yeah? Is there an echo?
Check. Oh no, it's gone. Wait, no, it's there. Let me go and come back. I think it's my fault because it wasn't here before.
Nope.
I don't know. Okay. It's still there a little bit on my end.
Is it really? Hold on. Try talking now.
Hello? We're good. Okay, so it doesn't have to be direct. Like, I see what you're saying. It doesn't have to be direct promotion. It's just an overproduction of one side of things versus the other. You see this, a good example of this was someone named, with the last name Goebbels, during a very huge genocide that happened in Germany. I'm not going to put the actual word out there, but what happened was one technique that he had that was a major part of them being able to be successful in this genocide was he took over a radio station, and he was able to control the information that was going out to the Germans that actually made them begin to not like the other community, the victims in that particular genocide. So it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be like direct promotion, but if you inflate one side and deflate another side, in a sense, you are kind of promoting that end of it, but it's just not direct.
You're muted.
And the information that was being actually passed out was essentially misinformation. Like, that was the misinformation, because the numbers were skewed, they weren't right, and then you were painting this picture, but then when everything was done, said and done, your numbers at one point got worse. Like, your R naught factor was enhanced. And it was a commonality across those who did, choose to be vaxxed. But all I'm saying is that we live in a free country. I have a right to smoke this cigarette that I'm about to light up, and I chose that. I have a right to, if I feel like it after this podcast, if I want to go get a Taco Supreme, I can do that.
But you also have a right to see through the bullshit.
And I also have a right,
to see through the lies.
See through it, say I don't agree with it, that I don't like it, that it's not for me. I have that right also. I did not lose some of my best friends for that.
Hold on, Jesse. Hold on, Jesse.
I did not lose my friends, one particular one, for some guy to come in with Alzheimer's and early stages of dementia and tell me he's going to take all my rights, get in bed with China, where the virus originated at, in a lab, and all of a sudden now we just buddy. We just all in bed with China. That sure is a coincidence. For you to take my rights, for you to tell me I'm going to do this, and then you making it where I starve you out or you submit. You are not choosing. The choice is being made for you. That ain't right. That is not right. Ain't nothing right about that. Nothing is patriotic about that. You're not saving anyone's life. You're not doing anything. and it pisses me off. It really don't sit well with me at all. I feel like I wasted my time and risked my life for absolutely nothing.
Hold on
That's
one
how I
second.
feel.
Hold on. M3, thank you for coming on. I see that you have to go. So I just want to give you the stage real quick.
Thank you, CKQ. So thank you for allowing me to join in your panel. Unfortunately, I do have to step out for a bit, so I didn't want to be rude and just leave my camera off. But if you wish to follow me, subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships on YouTube. We always have a lot of surprising content on the way, so feel free to check us out. And definitely get the likes up for CKQ, and also subscribe if you're new to his channel as well.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. All right. You guys have a good night. I'll still be watching, guys.
Perfect.
Where the little thing at?
Okay, what's that?
I've been waiting. I was waiting to do it. Okay, no.
I didn't even. I'm sorry.
I was ready. I've been conditioned. Okay, Pavlov. I'm just saying, I'm your dog. I am conditioned. Every time I hear it,
Hold on. I wanted to go through this comment section is lighting up, guys. Everyone in the chat box, thank you for being there. I'm gonna try to get to everyone, but
get them up.
You guys are
lighting up.
Yeah,
Shout out to John with the Al B. Short haircut popping off right now. I'm digging that. They lined you up crispy, dog. I'm digging
Appreciate
that.
it, bro. Appreciate it.
I'm a little jealous too. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little jealous.
They got you faded up real nice though, CJ. Don't worry.
Yeah, he got it good, man. Shout out to your barber.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'll let him know.
All right. We are going to do a quick reaction video, actually. So do me a favor and mute your mics. What the heck? Wrong page. All right. Still working on this, guys. All right. Still learning. Still new. I think so. There we go. All right. This is a quick video before the next question. So fair use. Mute your mics, please.
This is a little message to the unvaccinated. Ugh. You are killing everyone. It's your fault. You're being selfish. So get the vaccine because I'm vaccinated. I am vaccinated. Okay. And so I'm protected because the vaccine is safe and effective. So if you're around me and you're unvaccinated, then you're putting me at well, you're not. Okay. So you're selfish because if I'm protected and you're around me, then I'm fine. But you're me. Sorry. If you're not vaccinated, then you're not. You're racist, is what I'm saying. Hi. The unvaccinated.
Yes. So to the unvaxxed people, right? That is,
you're racist. Yeah, that's what you are.
You're racist.
You're racist.
That's what we got to throw something out there.
Yeah, you're racist.
But I did want to show that before our next question. My body, my choice, except for the vaccine. We're alluding to that a little bit. My body, my choice, except when it comes to the vaccine. CJ, start us out. You're muted, bro.
My bad. Yeah, I mean, it's your choice. I mean, hopefully you have it set up for yourself to where you don't have to abide by any of the rules. And again, I think it's messed up that it has to be like that. I don't think you should force anybody to do anything, but unfortunately, that's just the way it's set up. So yeah, it's your choice. But if you work in a system to where you require it, you may be out of a job. So you know me, I follow the money. So it is what it is.
All the way. That's fair. That's fair. Chris?
I hear this so much. I hear this like the other way, where they say like the people who are, I guess, pro-choice, when they question people who don't want it, they'll say something like this. I don't understand what they're saying when they say it, so I can't repeat it. But it's something along those lines. I don't think that they're the same thing when it comes to like the pro-choice side of it. Can you pull it back up so I can read it again? Sorry, CKQ.
Sure, of course. Right here.
Yeah, I don't agree with this, especially when it comes to someone's livelihood. I think that if, for whatever reasons, they don't feel comfortable with it, especially in the first couple of years of this being introduced, I think that's reasonable to wait for a bit more information to come out about it, especially, for people who have severe allergies or anything. Like I have really bad allergies. I'm allergic to many different types of things. Even when getting the flu shot, they ask you if you're allergic to eggs or chickens. But with this, they don't ask you really any of those questions. Like there is really no information on any potential allergens, or at least not when I got it, because the person who gave it to me was just a volunteer. I don't really think they had much medical background. And it was very alarming. I was really nervous because I was like, I'm probably gonna have some type of, like my throat's gonna swell up and I'm gonna die, like right here in my car, So I do think that it is their choice. No matter what. I don't think that trying to use like the pro-choice argument aligns with this one. I don't think they're the same, personally.
Okay. Neek. We just had Neek come up. What's going on? Neek? Neek at night. Did you go night-night?
Like, all you gotta do.
Okay. Neek, hit the private chat when you're back, but we can't hear you right now. Okay. Moving on to the next person. John. My body, my choice, except for the vaccine.
Nah, it's my body, my choice, period. Anything. This is my choice. And the other ain't for me. And that's my choice too. Simple as that. And I digress.
Danielle?
It was funny that Chris said something about the pro-choice, because when I read that, that's exactly what popped in my head. As a woman, not only is it the vaccine, it's also about abortions and everything like that. It actually is the exact same thing, because in some places they were like banning abortion. They actually did. I think it's Texas or something like that. So it's not just except for the vaccine. If you're a woman, men are just controlling our bodies, period, at this point. We can't do what we want all the time. So, yeah, it's crazy.
So you think it's just, well, I guess you see it as just men controlling the bodies as opposed to the government trying to take control.
The government is mainly men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesse, are you still there?
Hey.
There you go. What's going on? What are we talking?
My body, my choice, except for the vaccine. Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, it's just further ways to divide people. Just read the Bible. That's all I got to say about that. It's really all I got to say about that.
Read the Bible. Okay. I've actually heard that companies that have over 100 employees hearing
I've
Drake
actually
again.
got more to
I've
say
been
about
hearing
that, if you don't mind,
I've been
Clement.
hearing. Hold on, Jesse. Hold on,
I got
Jesse.
more to
I've
say
been
about
hearing that
MK
companies.
Ultra mind control experiments,
Hold on
Tuskegee
a second,
experiment,
Jesse.
HIV and AIDS, 1984,
Jesse.
censorship,
Jesse, you hear me?
Waco, Texas.
Jesse, do you hear me talking? I muted you because you keep trying to talk while I'm trying to talk to you. You hear me? Jesse? Yes, no?
Tuskegee experiment, HIV AIDS.
Jesse, do you hear me?
1984, censorship, Illuminati card game.
He can hear you.
The
He hears
Simpsons,
you.
Waco, Texas. Intentional divide.
I guess we're
MK
going back to this
Ultra
again. Huh?
mind control experiments.
We're doing so good. We're doing so good.
Look into it.
Well, listen, it's a two-way street, man. You got to hear me out, and I got to hear you out. But I can't just keep hearing you out when you don't want to hear me out, right?
I'm hearing you out. I thought it was my turn to talk.
No. I was trying to stop you.
Well, why?
So, let's just do it one last time.
It's a bad interview.
If I hear you talking, or if you hear
Larry
me trying
King
to
never
stop
stopped
you,
people.
and you still want to keep going,
David
then we
Letterman
could
didn't
just end
stop
this.
people. You need to have a better interview, man. You need to be better in interview.
I guess that's there goes that.
Yeah,
Jesse, you were good. You were good. No. It's a shame. Okay. Who hasn't went yet? I think we all went. Okay. Is Neek? Oh, Neek, are you there? Neek, hello. Neek, hello.
I think the Illuminati got her
She
too.
said she here. The comment said she here, but she can only hear me, John, and Chris.
That's weird because you hear that little sound from her. I hear rustling going on, but okay.
Yeah, that's the Illuminati.
Man. Okay.
Japri's going crazy in the comments.
Let me see. Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to the next question.
Kevin Samuels.
Please don't talk over me. I asked him.
Ma'am, sir. Don't talk over. Don't come to my platform.
What the French toast?
Bloop. The French toast.
But next question. All right. Let's keep it going. What role is the media playing when it comes to COVID? What role is the media playing when it comes to COVID? Danielle?
The media is playing the same role it plays in everything. It puts out what they want you to know and think and just repeat it over and over and over again until you're repeating it too.
So is there direction or is there any kind of thing that they're trying to push or
they're pushing to get the vaccine? Or you are a bad person.
Okay. CJ?
And they was pushing vaccines before COVID, but this COVID one is the one, okay?
CJ, what do you think?
I mean, I think the media is doing what they always done. They promote fear. I'll tell you that, and that's the part where I do. I don't know if you said this or not, John, but yeah, I agree. They promote fear, and I do think this is why it's also important to have independent media and independent research. I do agree with that because it should not be one-sided. Because when you do have one person that controls the whole narrative, then that's when things can get skewed. So I do think it's very important to have two sides to, independent research base. and the independent media. So that part, and I think that's the difference between then and now, is that we can do that. We have the ability to do that to where it's not just one-sided. So, yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, I agree. It's not only fear, it's just emotional based thinking. Like they draw on people's emotions. They draw on, instead of trying to force people to think reasonably and just providing information and letting people kind of explore that and critical think, and kind of draw their own conclusions, they use emotions to kind of draw those conclusions for people. And then people kind of, if you get to a conclusion because it's research based, if you read a research paper and it is evidence against what you found, it's a lot easier to kind of like throw that away and kind of go back to the drawing board because you don't have any personal connection to it. The media does a very good job of making us feel personally attached to these different movements and ideas, to where you can't separate the person and the thought. If you don't like that person's thought, then you automatically just don't like that person. And the media does a really good job of kind of inflating that particular mindset. So
Inflating it a lot more to the masses. Okay. Neek, how was that?
Hey, I guess I shouldn't be watching it while I'm talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to close it down.
Yeah. Close it down on YouTube.
Yeah, you'll mess yourself up like that. I've
Oh,
learned
that's
the hard
what's
way.
going on.
Excuse me, man. Close the YouTube.
Okay. This is personal to me because I was recently faced with a letter from my job saying, or email, saying that everyone must be vaccinated by January 5th or they're going to be terminated.
Hey, Neek, I got a favor. Can you, is there any way to turn up your mic a little bit?
Let me see. Is that the mic?
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is better?
Much better.
Okay.
There we go.
So I don't know if you heard what I said, but I'm faced with this dilemma right here as far as COVID. That's why I called in, because I'm currently trying to get my doctor to either give me an exemption or I don't know. How do you prove religious stuff? I don't know. I need to use something because I don't want this stuff in me. And I have gotten a letter on Friday. I need to pay bills, but I don't want this stuff in me. Like, to me, this is like tyrants. This is like,
yeah.
I'm not living in a a democratic society where I get to choose, like, or I can't live. Like, this doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I called in. But that's my opinion on that.
The whole idea behind the fact that you now can't feed your family, or you can't feed yourself, you can't live without having a shot that you aren't comfortable doing, but the government is definitely trying to push for something far sinister than I think we all could think about, to be honest with you. And the fact that they're pushing so hard to be able to get a vaccine to be able to support your livelihood. And I'm sorry they're honestly going through that. Like, I don't even know if anyone's on the panel here could be possibly ran into a situation like this, could even throw any kind of comments out there. Like, what do you even do in that situation? You know,
go get your CDL.
Then they won't give you your license unless you're vaccinated, probably. They're going to do something.
That's not true.
No, I mean, eventually it might come down to it because they want everybody vaccinated. They want the whole world vaccinated because the way they promoting this stuff is just ridiculous. Like, doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've never had a vaccine promote this hard, and I'm about to be 47 this coming Saturday, and doesn't make any sense to me. I've never seen this. This is why I'm scared to get it. Most people is scared not to get it, and they feel safe with it. Don't know why, but it's kind of like I'm scared to get it because if you pushing it this hard, something gotta be.
They're willing to pay people, giving people free donuts, free vacation. There were too many things attached to getting this shot.
Yeah.
That's too sketchy. Like, I mean, like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, that's just like, I mean, I don't forget who I was talking to, but I use the analogy of you're a husband, right? And your wife meets you out in the at the door, and she comes out the door and say, "Hey, look here. You don't go in there. I'll give you whatever you want." But I'm what that's going to entice you to want to go in more, right? Right? Because she hiding something. What are you hiding? Why don't you want me to open the door? What are you keeping from me? Why? What's really going on? Then you're using the media to produce fear manipulation. That's what it's called. It's called fear manipulation.
They've been doing that. It's just
that's what the media's role is.
Yeah.
Fear manipulation. To report statistics that you want them to report. When you're ready to send the next wave of fear in, X amount of people that was not vaccinated died. And if you look, actually, that was not true. It was people who was vaccinated.
You just got to research the media to find out who owns it and see who want. That's the agenda they want. Whoever owns that media, like it's not just different people own this media, different people. No, it's like one central or two central people that own the media. So that's why this is what they want. And people are just not awake. They're just not awake. We sleep.
They're not sleeping. Sleep at the wheel. You sleep at the wheel.
Let's jump through some comments real quick because I don't want to get too far behind again. The media is doing the same thing the government is doing, pretending to be two opposing sides to keep us fighting with each other so that we keep voting and viewing.
Yep.
What about the viewership? Since media is dying, mainstream media is dying. The mainstream media are the enemy of the people. That's
absolutely fact. That's a big fact.
Yeah. Well, I'm so sorry you're going through this, ma'am. Neek, I believe Japrice was asking, what state are you in? If you don't mind saying that, if you don't mind sharing.
I'm in Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
E Black, shout out to you.
What up, E Black?
Yeah, what state are you in? Time to become an alpaca farmer. Happy early birthday. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
The insurance companies, doctor's office, and vaccine manufacturers are making money hand over fist.
Absolutely.
It's a money grab.
And the president is destroying this economy. I mean, destroying it. Because you got other students like myself who are looking to, like, once I graduate, I'm not going to be looking for a professorship. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because you are forcing people out of the workforce, which means people are not spending money because they have to hold on to it. And you seeing the signs, like there was a huge spike in the economy to 6%. That's beginning to where it's becoming hard to manage. And then you got people that's not going to enter into the workforce. People that have online hustles, other hustles, they keeping those. Like people are really hiring, but nobody is going to those jobs. And the first thing I had a guy, it was one job that was, I said, you know what? This might be pretty cool when I get ready to graduate. And when we went on the interview, I asked them, do you have a COVID mandate? And they was like, yeah, because it was a remote position. I said, for a remote? And they said, it's a company policy. And I said, oh, okay. Well, we can end the interview. I'm not doing that.
And you know what's about to happen? They're going to get all those immigrants from overseas, and they're going to get all those people from overseas, and they're going to come take your job. So they could care less how you feel because business is still going to run and go as usual. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate that it's like that. And I was going to say to Neek, try medical billing and coding. You can do that from home. You can start your own business. You know, look into some things to where you can, if you really don't want to get it, to where you can start like an at-home based business, and you know, you run it from there.
I mean, I work from home now. That was the whole point of getting this job. But I mean, we still have to visit clients because I'm a case manager. So we got to visit them every 90 days. So that's that's their purpose of letting us know we have to get vaccinated, because you do have to be around people every once in a while. So yes, medical billing. I'm gonna look into it. Thank you.
For sure.
All right. Vaccination has proved to be a curse of such sweeping devastation that it has caused more death and disease than war. What's that? Pestilence and plague combined. Dr. Eleanor McBean, the poisoned needle. Interesting. Everyone who is vaccinated is vaccine injured, whether it shows up right away or later in life. Dr. Shiv Chopra.
With a bachelor's of virology and science, not sure about the PhD, and a fellow of World Health Organization, senior scientist at Health Canada. So these are not people who are uneducated, who also don't agree. These are people, especially that one there, that has a vast knowledge of science and how science works. It's just not somebody who's listening to something on YouTube and following a bandwagon. Like, they understand.
So do you think that if it wasn't forced, but there was still vague information on it, do you think people would still be arguing over vaccines versus anti-vaxxers? Let's just do you think people will argue over that, or it'll just be like nothing? Nobody would care because it's not being forced.
I think that the people who typically are anti-vaxxers would be anti-vaxxers, because you got people who just will not take a vaccine, period. That's just the way it rolls with them. But the amount of people and the amount of pushback that you would have gotten would have been far less if you never mess with social media, let people come up with their own opinions, because theory is going to be theory. People have a right to think whatever. That is not going to influence a person to the point to where you just, like, if no one pushed back, no one said anything, and the government just let you live your life and made it totally your choice, people would go ahead and do it. But
so do you think that the vaccine hasn't been helpful at all?
It may have been, but how helpful it has, we don't know.
It was so helpful
because the research was not bad.
It was
like
so
the research was just not good, and it's showing. Like, the research was done so bad and trying to show that. What were you trying to show? Like, what you created something, okay, but how do we know what works and how do we know what doesn't work? Because everybody has a natural immune response. Everybody. You have those immunoglobulins in your body, specifically M, which primarily protects the deep mucosal membranes, like the pleural cavity.
Sorry, do you see that comment he just put up there?
What?
That is Dr. Charles Hoff found
yes, right
62% of patients who received COVID mRNA jab test positive for blood clots.
Absolutely. And that's what I told you when we were on the phone, Nate. I said, if you get anything, do not get. This was way back. Like, this was way back when we had the conversation, because that mRNA is just loose, and people saying, well, you don't have to worry about it. Yes, you do have to worry about it, because you got
blood clotting syndrome that was discovered with my pregnancy for my son. So I don't get treatment afterwards, but I have a clot. It's called antiphospholipid syndrome. So I don't want to take this medicine, not just because of because I don't know what's in it, that's one of the reasons, but because of my own health as well. And I had COVID. Thank God I lived. I mean, me and my whole family had COVID, except for my son. I don't know how he didn't get it. And you know, we're fine. We ain't never go to the hospital, hospitalized or something like that for it. But I think I have my natural antibodies. I think I'm good. But you know, I don't know. Sorry, y'all.
Let's see. Killing the chat section. I'm loving it. How would we know if the vaccine was helpful if people still have to wear their mask and social distance?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we? That's the point I was trying to make. Like, the research was done in such a manner, if any research was done at all, only the creation, that I don't like. How do you know what? How do you separate what is natural, what is not? Because you can't just say if you're vaccinated or if you're not vaccinated. Because even if you're vaccinated, you don't know what part was the vaccination and what part was your natural immunity. You just don't know. And if there's a doctor that can explain this, an MD or something, please let me know. How do you know? How do you separate that?
What was your question, John? Sorry.
How do you know how can you measure whether it is, if you get COVID, how do you know if this person's immune system just because they got vaccinated, do you know what part was the immune system that did it, or was it the vaccination that did it? Especially considering how a vaccine is supposed to work. How do you know?
Based on how a vaccine is supposed to work, then you can't really separate it then, because technically what's going on is it's introducing the virus to your body is replicating it, and then it's able to fight it off. There are studies that talk about the effectiveness of both. So basically, there's a study that talks about the effectiveness of getting the shot versus getting the virus and then being reintroduced to the virus and being able to fight it off. Basically being able to fight it off versus getting the shot and having the virus before in the past. Having it before had higher effectiveness than getting the shot, but getting the shot still had fairly good effectiveness. It's gone down because, like viruses, they all evolve. Because it's evolved, the effectiveness has gone down of each of the shots. Johnson & Johnson being the worst, obviously. But I think they measure it just based off of symptoms and hospitalizations with the studies that I've read.
I find this comment pretty telling of everything that's going on. Warning label on the box of surgical masks. This product is an ear loop mask. This product is not a respiratory and will not provide protection against COVID-19 and other viruses or contaminants. Isn't that crazy? Everything. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. You have to wear the mask, and it doesn't actually do anything to help.
Well, most medicine just masks symptoms anyway. The healthcare system never really promotes a cure. The government owns the copyright to the word cure, to the term cure. So that's always been that. I mean, that's nothing new, as far as with. But my thing is, people go along to get along, and I just wish, like now. And I get the pushback, and I'm not an advocate for it. And you don't need to force anybody to do anything. But I just wish we would have had, like, when the flu was going around, when the flu was going around, how John mentioned smallpox. I wish they had like social media back then, because I think it would have been quite interesting to see what the reactions would have been when those viruses and everything like that first came on the scene. I just think it would have been interesting. But no, I don't think they should be forcing. That's sad. 35,000 nurses finna lose their job on January 5th out in Kaiser in California. It's sad that that's about to happen.
I think Atlanta Trasher has a big, it's hitting a point, like with this comment. We have a distillery actually quit making a whole distillery quit making booze so they make hand sanitizer. A lot of this was a money grab.
Of course.
It was a money grab.
Man, listen, this was something that I've been thinking about, and I'm just gonna say it. You feel me? This you have the virus was made in a lab. Somehow it got out the lab. Somehow. What? I happen to know a little bit about something about labs. And when you're messing with something that's extremely that can be a communicable disease or cause a mass pandemic, you have to be behind double glass. Meaning there has to be a door and another door, and in between the last door, there has to be a staging area where you clean and disinfect. That's how labs are set up.
1 second, John. 1 second, John. All right, CJ has to head out, so.
Oh, my bad.
No, you
no
good.
worries, man. No worries.
Oh, what's up,
CJ.
everybody? Check me out at the High Value Nurse. Well, the CJ Kyles now, and make sure y'all go subscribe to the CKQ podcast. Shout out to everybody on the panel. It's a great conversation. I'll be listening with my headphones because I got to go back to these COVID patients. So I'll
Being a nurse, man.
All right, peace.
All right. Thanks for coming, bro. Awesome guy. Okay. John, sorry to cut you off. What were you saying?
You all right? So that's that part, right? So somehow it magically escaped. It magically escaped when Trump was in office and Trump had imposed tariffs. There's a documentary that you need to watch about the tariffs and how they affected China's government, how they affected China's economy. And now that COVID affected our economy. A lot of our drugs come from their labs. But now we have a vaccine mandate. We have all these mandates. You can't work, you got to get this, you got to get that. What is China doing? That's a whole communist country. But I'm not even going to get into that. Forget what they're doing. Why are they building up a navy, bringing ships in closer to a nice jump off point that is strategically allows them to go through Australia into the United States? Why is that happening? Why is our Alzheimer's like president getting in bed with China? Why is he appointing the person that he's trying to appoint? Why is he doing these things? I just want to know. They don't make, why? Why is all this happening? And why do we owe China so much money? Why are Chinese buying all this land up in the United States? Why? Can somebody help me with that? Why? Nobody's asking these questions
because politicians will take the money. Because politicians will take their money and allow them to do whatever they want.
But why? Why? Like, why nobody never challenged George Bush, who owns land that benefited from us going over there, rocking it up over there in Iraq? He benefited. He has land that's worth a lot if the oil prices go up. Nobody said nothing. Didn't open their mouth. Except one veteran who was claimed to have, he's just got real bad PTSD. Challenged him. Cussed him out loud. So it wasn't like I'm the only one who thought of. We talked about this a lot when I was deployed. There were no weapons of mass destruction in my way. None.
I think it's natural human greed.
Of course.
Natural human greed. Once we gain, we're always just going to keep wanting more. You're never going to have too much money. You can never be rich enough. You're always going to want more, especially once you get into power. Honestly, it's not even so much the money, it's the power. Is once you have power typically just corrupts anyone. You could be the nicest person, gain a lot of power, see what you can do with it. You're going to do whatever you want.
And the last point,
why does that matter?
The last point I want to make on that is this: you got to remember something. The United States can be purchased. It is a corporation. It is not just a country. The only way for it to stop being a country is you have to remove the incorporation. File bankruptcy, dissolve, and turn right back into a country, then you're all right. But right now, it's a corporation. So just like any business, it can be bought out. And I digress. And I don't think nobody's thought about anything I just said.
Didn't Biden
It's just something to think about.
Didn't Biden already say that though? That China's gonna own this place in some years. China's gonna buy America.
Well, what John is saying is that all these actions are being placed right now while there's the front of the COVID vaccine. While that's being pushed, like all that stuff's happening behind the scenes. What was I going to ask you? China's a communist country, right?
Exactly. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
So if they purchase the U.S., it's
you become them. What you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. Hopefully, it's not in my lifetime. It's all, you know.
Oh no, it's gonna be in your lifetime. You better watch you better go to some of these that report on this that have big platforms, and they are showing you the actual footage like in real life. I mean, CNN even showed the first initial meeting between the China officials and the U.S. that did not go that well.
Didn't go well?
No, it did not go well. It did not go well at all. And then there were several people, one virologist, who said that virus was man-made. See, here's the thing. Does anybody on here know what zoonosis is? Or zoonotic? Okay, that is a pathogen that has a non-human vector that is gotten into a human. So if that's the definition, then this virus should be zoonotic. Does everybody agree? Because originally they said that this comes from a bat.
Bat, yeah.
Okay, that is an animal, a non-human, and it's in humans. So therefore, this virus is zoonotic, right?
Okay.
Was that how they
natural?
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, because you might.
Just to clarify, is that how they described the swine flu? Was that considered?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And how did they come about doing? How did they deal with the swine flu? Do you remember? Is there a specific vaccine for swine flu?
My goddaughter's got the swine flu, and all they did is told them to drink fluids
and let it pass through, right?
Yeah,
you know why? Now here's my bigger point. Because you have IgA, IgM, and IgG that fights off those type of viruses. Because there's no amount of antibiotics that's going to fight a non-living organism. It's not living. It's just not. So monitor your fluid output, throwing up, urinating, diarrhea. Make sure you get plenty of electrolytes so that your body stays in a homeostatic state. And then that's it. And wait for everything to pass. So maybe this virus is not zoonotic. I'm just saying.
Who? I'm not sure what that acronym stands for.
World Health Organization.
World Health Organization. She makes a very beautiful point. Tuberculosis is known to be airborne. There's people who I've watched catch TB from an infected TB because it's airborne, and it's caused by I forget pneumastus. Yeah, but it's an actual bacteria that gets into your lungs, and then it turns and it causes, I forget the name, I forget the exact one, but that's airborne. You didn't have to wear no mask. Why we didn't push that? Why? See, once I get you thinking this, now I can get you to do whatever I need you to do because you're a sheep. You listen. One of the dumbest farm animals out there, a sheep. Matter of fact, I think it's the dumbest of all farm animals is the sheep. it goes wherever without any thought process at all. If you put a hole out there, that sheep will walk into that hole every day. It's just that dumb.
Okay, that was a good little spinoff. We're gonna come back to the questions now. There's definitely a lot to think about, though. A lot was said here to think about when it comes to China, and actually what they're going to be doing with the U.S. How soon that's going to be happening. A lot to think about for sure. But what would another lockdown look like? What would another lockdown look like, Chris?
Unrest. I feel like people would go nuts if we had another lockdown in the States. Yeah, I think because I think the vaccination, or sorry, the rate of people getting the shots is going up. And so that'll raise even more questions, like why haven't we reached herd immunity yet? Why do we need another lockdown? It would make the rift even wider. And then if they did another lockdown, I wonder if they'd bring back the moratorium, the eviction moratorium, and then all HE double hockey sticks will break loose. And it would be awful. I would cry if they did another lockdown.
What's a moratorium?
When they couldn't evict anybody.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
And that, I wouldn't go on a rant. I don't want to rant, but it's to say it was awful. It was necessary for a small period of time, but it was extended to the point where it had very negative effects on landlords. And then homelessness is getting even worse. So the lockdown is going to be, it wouldn't be useful. I think it would create a lot more tension, a lot more unrest, and then would probably end up leading to more employment, and then eventually another eviction moratorium because people are losing their jobs and they can't go to work. And then we're going to be right back at high inflation, right where we are now.
Atlanta Trasher, yes, thank you for stopping by. You've been great, and don't forget the Flintstones, kids.
Ivermectin is the truth.
Say that again, John.
Ivermectin is the truth.
Those chewables are the truth. I love those. Those chalky Flintstone vitamins. I would take those as an adult. They were so good.
That's good. Neek, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your thoughts on another lockdown? What would another lockdown look like to you?
I think I agree with Chris about it not being a lockdown, that people will just be running the streets. Like, I don't care what you say. I'm still leaving this house. I'm still going to visit my family. I'm still traveling. I don't care what y'all say. I think people would fight back because they already done, the federal court already done stopped that mandate in their courts and said, we're not making a ruling right now. That's on hold. So I don't know. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. Hopefully not me. So it's just, I don't think it's going to be good. Like, I'm already like, that's why I'm throwing this party for myself, because I'm ready to get out of this house for my birthday. Like,
lockdown
I'm
ain't gonna look like
being
that.
in here. It's not going to be good. But thank you for letting me join. I am going to go.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah.
You want to shout out your channel? Hold on a second. Shout out your channel.
Three Married Ladies Opinions on YouTube, on Instagram. We have a private Facebook group and a Facebook page. And we have a shop, 3mloshop.com. I haven't put out any videos in the past 2-3 months, but I still have videos up there that if you want to go check out about marriage, it's just 3 women and some guests. And thank you, Clement, for being a guest. I just haven't had the time to put my season 2 out yet. But thank you.
Well, that was a fun show. You invited me to that one time, so thank you.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming out soon. So hopefully next year. And just talking about marriage, talking about before you get married, talking about after you get married, just all those type of things about marriage that you want to know, even just relationships, period. That's what that channel is about. Our channel is about.
There we go.
Thank you.
Meek, thanks so much. You enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you. You too. Great guys.
In 1976, swine flu caused 1 death. That's crazy. The vaccine caused was that Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
I probably butchered that. The program was ended after 25% of the U.S. pop had been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Only 25%, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's all it said.
I was 2 years old, and my mom didn't take me. I ain't getting no vaccination.
Was it mandated?
I was 2 years old. I don't know. I just know my mama told me you weren't doing all that.
It came back in the 2000s, right? The swine flu, and they didn't mandate it.
No, they didn't mandate it. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
No, they
I
didn't
think
mandate
it was just like the normal flu shot. I think was supposed to be able to protect you from the swine flu, I believe.
Interesting. All right. Well, guys, we went through all the questions.
I didn't get to go.
You didn't get to go?
No.
What?
Yeah.
What would another lockdown look like?
It ain't gonna look like nothing neither one of them described. It's gonna look like you're gonna see people with blue berets called UN soldiers, and they're gonna be going door to door, and you're either gonna take the shot or you're gonna get placed under arrest and you go into a camp. That's what another lockdown will look like. It's gonna I'm just gonna say that.
So you think it's gonna look more like what's that thing called when they forcibly recruited people? Draft. It's gonna look similar to a draft.
No, you're going to be no. It ain't gonna look like no draft.
So what are you saying?
Draft, you go willingly on your own. Well,
no,
you mean
draft
like a fort?
Well, that's not really willingly.
Oh yeah, no. Like draft, yeah, it'll look like a draft.
Yeah.
But way worse. You're not going to no jail. You will wish you was in a jail. You going to a camp, my boy. And you're gonna be treated bad, my boy, because the whole point is for you to say, I'm gonna get it. All I know is there's operators out there, fragos and everything else. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. And the black flag is flying, and people know who that black flag means. The ones who need to know, they know what that means.
Danielle?
Oh no. This is just all too much for me, okay?
Come on, this is what you want. This is what you wanted. We're giving you outside the outside world. This is it. This is it right here. Take it in.
I'm gonna go back in the house. Like your mom. Me and your mom are gonna hang out, okay? We're gonna hang out in the house.
I'm forcing her to get out of the house. I'm forcing her.
And we don't like that. Stop forcing us. We like it in the house.
You know what happens in the house? Smoke detectors don't get fixed in the house. That's what happens.
That's because he's not in the house. That's because he's at work.
See? Outside of the house, he doesn't get to experience what you're experiencing right now. So
I know.
But what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Come on. I want to hear something.
I can't say what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, I don't know what would happen with this lockdown. I know John just scared the life out of me. I know that I'm against the vaccine, but I'm gonna get it because I have to provide for my family. My husband provides bills, but what I'm providing is future financial wealth for my sons. I don't want them to have to be stressed out here. So yeah. So
I think a lot of people will go along with the lockdown the second time, and that's when it's going to go into a little bit more of what John was saying. I think it's going to be a gradual though. I don't think it's going to be as quickly. I think it might be a little bit more. I don't know, because if you can't work,
John, close your mouth.
well, I guess that's it, guys. Any closing comments?
Gun sales will go up again.
They already
going up now.
Again, yes, but it's gonna
It's gonna skyrocket if another lockdown. True.
Because the next lockdown will probably be like you can't leave your house unless you have the shot. If they do that, it's over. Buy your gun now before they do that.
That is one thing a lot of people keep telling me to get a firearm. It's one of those things. I don't know. Someday. But other than that, guys, that's it. We have closed out the show. Anything else to add? Tyrone Jackson, thank you for, I think it was between you and Gloria. You guys were posting some pretty damn good information up there. Dr. With the town. The oxide had been taken by 4 million Americans. Arthritis, the drug may have caused 140,000 heart attacks, resulting in 60,000 deaths. FDA investigator Graham.
Tell them to keep it coming. And you all know where heroin come from. Yeah. They come from some black man in New York that a movie was made by. It came from Bear Aspirin Company. That's where it came from. Bear
Aspirin?
Exactly. It was used as a cure-all, basically. Cough syrup, all kinds of stuff. And then they noticed people were coming home like they had to have it after one of the wars. I think World War I. Soldiers was receiving just drawn to it like a moth to a candle flame. Then they classified it and put it on the DEA as a banned drug.
Guys, it's been a good night.
We're gonna
close out the show now.
The litamide.
Arms are like, jeez.
And like nobody even mentioned that move that Biden made. The guy from that was over Pfizer did not agree with them releasing and forcing that, and he removed him. And then put who he wanted to get the approval. Dude was challenging the approval, saying it was safe. And he fired him, got him out of there, and put somebody else in there. And then all of a sudden it was approved to be safe. Man, y'all better wake the fuck up. Better wake up.
It's perfect. They're here though. The vaccine should be tested on politicians first. If they survive, the vaccine is safe. If they don't, then the country is safe.
Monica that's a Monica. I went the other way. I swear I did. I seen that scar at the end and just went from there.
Buy for their clients. Non-perishables.
Yeah, and another thing, why did he pay, why did the government pay all these farmers to kill their crops?
When was that? I think I heard you say that.
This year.
Oh, that's safe.
Yeah, this year.
Human mandated vaccine that has resulted in a 3-fold increase in the reported incidence of whooping cough.
Is Chris talking? We can't hear you.
I didn't know this at all. That's super sad. The whooping cough is awful. Absolutely awful. Like, I don't know if Danielle, oh, you work in nursing homes. So my mom, she had a story about an infant who got whooping cough. And basically the cough is so bad that eventually your, the vessel, something like swells up and the child just can't breathe anymore. And you can't get a trank in or anything. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Oh,
it's
wow.
awful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, so they become so inflamed from coughing so much.
So inflamed.
Because every
and
time,
there's nothing you can do.
Every time you cough, it's almost like reverse peristalsis. Almost, not the same, but almost. Not to mention you, like when you swallow something, your throat works downward to get it into through the GI tract, and it's called peristalsis. When you cough, man, that thing tightens your intercostal muscles and everything else, and small bits of hydrochloric acid also come up, and it can really irritate the pharynx and larynx and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's super sad. I think that mostly affects children, whooping cough. So probably a lot of kids died. It's not caught early enough. Nothing you can do.
Scary.
It's terrifying.
Scary. Yeah. But, hey, guys, we had a good panel today, all right? And then smile a little bit, okay? That's for you. No more of this depressing stuff, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, the real world is depressing, but hey, you don't got to be depressed about it. We had a great, fantastic panel. Everyone in the chat room, you guys have been lighting it up. Tyrone Jackson, Tu Madre, Neek, everyone else that's been there. Atlanta Trasher. All of you guys have been really great. Even that guy from Twitch, the one guy from Twitch, Nelson, who? Nelson. You guys have been great. But let's close out the panel. We'll start with John.
All right, everybody. Once again, name is John. I have a YouTube channel, Black Wall Street Trading, LLC. And if you listen to some of the podcasts, all of the podcasts, you should probably hit me up and see what kind of option strategies we can run so you don't have to go to a job and get jabbed on.
You got Chris?
Hello, I'm Chris. I have a channel called The Blooming Ebony. I'm also on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony. This show got a little bit depressing towards the end, but I learned a lot. This is a really great podcast. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here at CKQ Podcast. And I hope to see you guys again soon.
Last but not least, we got Danielle.
Hi. You can find me on Instagram at my sister's keeper. I mean, Lord, I can't even think right now. Find me on YouTube at my sister's keeper and on Instagram at Fly Nurse Mom Wife. And this is the heaviest podcast you've had. I really don't appreciate this topic.
Listen,
I'm not leaving feeling light and fluffy like I normally do.
We gotta hit all the emotions, all right? Oh,
Feeling gloomy and heavy. But thank you. I appreciate being able to look at my beautiful panel.
Good panel. All right, guys. For everyone in the chat box, all of you have been amazing. This has been a great panel. This has been extremely informative to me, to people in the chat room, to everyone on the panel, everyone that's been here, even the people with the mask that had to get kicked off. They still had some level of insight before they left. So, thank you all, and enjoy the new outro that I just made. Got it.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their fathers.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth, start speaking the truth. Might get shot.
I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
But the whole thing is men are I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we can paint the perfect picture without belittling each other. Because under God's system,
we are equipped to handle that responsibility. But not every man is fit to handle that responsibility.
I done seen Flint, Michigan,
and it's just being
cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep.
So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they can find someone.
And expecting you to do your part. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School rob you with needed resources.
Think about how weaker vessel and the more vulnerable.
Absolutely, 100%.
You don't look at the man like, oh, poor son, you were violated. No, you like, bruh.
And nobody shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all I play their part, and it's the start.
Put myself in a situation where I can only rely on a man. Like if I'm married and being a stay-at-home mom, I need to have a backup in case anything happens. I can't only rely on him. You know what I'm saying?
A flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
See, I'm a poet, and the best part of me shows it here to speak the message of what is known but